Today from r/EntitledParents. Dad refused to give rides because I was taking advantage of him, is now unable to drive. For the past few days I've been thinking a lot about some of the ridiculous things my dad did while growing up, and I just stumbled across this community. Here's a story I'll share. When I started college, I used public transportation and a bike to get to and from work and school because I wasn't able to afford a car. Well, one day my bike was stolen, so I solely started relying on public transportation. My job consisted of an 8-hour shift where I would get off at 11:30 p.m. At this time, the trains and buses were usually not running. My dad and I lived together at this time. He also typically got off late and would drive past my work on his way home every night. For a little while, he would pick me up on his way home and give me a ride. After doing this a few times, he suddenly started refusing to give me a ride. He found an old, neglected bike that his girlfriend got at a garage sale and told me I could use it to get home. The bike was in pretty bad condition and was being held together with duct tape, but I tried to use it. Once winter rolled around though, the bike was impossible to ride due to the ice and snow. My dad flat out refused to give me rides home after work, saying he wanted to teach me a lesson about independence and that I was taking advantage of his generosity by not utilizing other options for transportation. So I, at the time 18-year-old female, started walking 10 blocks home in the middle of winter at 11:30 p.m. This went on for about a year until I found a different job. Fast forward 5 years later, my dad started having absence seizures and could no longer safely drive. For the first little bit, I felt bad for him and gave him rides everywhere. After a while, my dad started calling me all the time and guilt-tripping me for not being available to give him a ride when I was working or too busy with something. I reminded my dad that how he can utilize other transportation options. I really didn't want to be mean to him. It's unfortunate that he just started having seizures, but at the same time, he was kind of a jerk to me when I was vulnerable and needed him, and I just can't be his personal chauffeur. Edit. I just wanted to clarify a few things. I do try to help my dad whenever I'm available. I was more specifically referring to a few times when he was like, "Oh, I wanted to go to my yoga class, but my kids wouldn't take me." The walk took 30 minutes, so I would typically get home at midnight. As far as I know, there aren't any disability private ride options where we live, but it looks like there is a carpooling program, so I could probably introduce him to that. He also gets free public transportation pass through his job and makes very good money, so he also has the option of getting a taxi or Uber if absolutely necessary. I think the main reason he relies on me and my sibling for rides is because he has difficulty getting along with people, so he's no longer close with many of his friends or other immediate family members. He's not a senior citizen. I'm not trying to treat him like a teenager. He's fit and only in his mid-40s.